Welcome back. Temperatures are dropping fast, and you're not the only one who's been affected. That's right, we're talking about your pets. So joining us now is Guinnervere Shuster with the Humane Society of Utah to talk about how that cold weather can affect your dogs. And speaking of dogs, we've got a good little boy right here, Trout, who is up for adoption. Can you tell us a little bit about Trout?
Yeah, this young guy is about 10 months old, and you know, he is just a all-American breed, as we like to call him. He's a mixed breed mutt, and like any teenage puppy, although he's not exhibiting it now, he's got lots of energy. But you know, he'd be great for any family looking for a partner to jog or run with and hang out with.
He's got some big feelings. He's all over the place. He's such a sweetheart. I love him. But I know we also want to talk about keeping our pets safe during these cold temperatures, especially the last week has been really bitter. What are some of the mistakes that you see dog owners make around this time of year?
Yeah, probably one of the most common things that we hear about is when people take their dogs out for walks, they'll bring them back inside and then they'll notice their dogs licking their paws, and then they often get burns or wounds on their paws. And that's typically from the salts and the chemicals that are on the sidewalks. So if you're out walking your dogs, when you get home, just make sure you wipe off their paws.
And how should you wipe off their paws? I've seen those little cups that you can use. I've seen people use special wipes, water. What do you recommend? What's the safest way to go about doing that?
You know, any way your dog will let you do it, the easiest, that's how we recommend. So, you know, if your dog will let you wipe them off with the little tubes that you put their paw in, great. Also a towel and water will work as well too.
Any good guidance for how long your pet should be outside with you?
Yeah, that just depends on the type of dog. So not all dogs are created equal when it comes to the cold. You know, if you have a husky or an Arctic breed, they're gonna love being outside in this weather. If you have a short-haired dog or a senior or a puppy, they're going to be more susceptible to the cold weather, and they're probably not going to last as long outside.
What about having a pet outside and maybe you have a, hi buddy, you've got so much going on today, having like a little shelter for your dog to be out there? What's some good guidance to make sure that they're safe if they are more of an outdoor dog, but you want to make sure that they're not getting harmed in any way?
Yeah, so you want to make sure they have adequate shelter if they're left outdoors. So, you know, shelter on 3 sides and a roof. And then also we recommend, you know, a lot of people might be tempted to put a blanket in that shelter, but blankets can get wet during the day and then freeze at night. So you'll actually want to avoid using blankets. Use something like straw. It doesn't absorb water and it'll help insulate the animals when it's cold out.
What are some signs that your pet has been exposed to the elements and they do need to see a vet or they do need to go to an emergency room?
Yeah, some symptoms of hypothermia in pets is if they start shivering uncontrollably. Often they'll try and seek shelter somewhere. So if your dog is trying to hide under something or climb into something, those can be signs as well. And a lower body temperature. So if you feel that your pet is very cold to the touch through their fur, then you're definitely going to want to get them inside and warm or to the veterinarian.
Okay, some very important tips there before we go, Gwen, because I know everyone is going to want to take Trout home. Trout, you got to sit up so everyone can see you again. I know, buddy. Where can people find more information about Trout and other tips for pet owners? I know, buddy, it's been a day.
They can find out more about Trout at our website, which is utahhumane.org.
Okay, thank you so much, Gwen. Coming up.